Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of the Cavern Kings Let's Play. This is beta 16.2 and this is actually a brand new version with a whole bunch of new features that I'm excited to be able to bring to you and show you. So the first thing you'll probably notice is this is actually a title screen. We didn't have one of those before, and it's pretty cool because you can actually mess around and break the blocks and stuff. You know, interactive title screens, I like those. I was showing this to Rob the other day, and he was having a fantastic time just breaking all the tiles before he even started the game. So there you go, there's that. And this is actually the version that you can get if you go ahead and back the Kickstarter for $10 or more, and there's actually been a lot of headway made on the Kickstarter front. We're actually, I think it's like $500 or so at the time of this recording away from getting to the $10,000 stretch goal, which is to add online multiplayer. And then the developer Vine has actually added another stretch goal for another $10,000. So if we make it to a total of 20K, there's going to be a massive update of 50 more power-ups. So I'm pretty psyched if we could reach that. Although we're getting down to the wire, I think we're, what is it, about 12, 13 days left at the time of this recording. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's talk about some of the new features that we've got in Cavern King 16.2. You'll notice there was not any, like, gems sitting waiting for me in this little well before we get into the actual game. Looks like he removed those because, you know, kind of wasn't necessary, I guess, anyway. And what was really the point? It was just to give you some free money at the beginning, and you'll get that on the first floor anyway. And half the time, we all just stand here talking, so, like, I missed most of those gems the other time anyway. So there's a whole bunch of trophies you'll see that I've gotten. I've played this a little bit on stream. If you stand in front of these, it now tells you what they are, which is kind of nice. So this is for opening 50 chests, killing 100 plus golems, 100 plus baby bloodworms, 100 plus eye kids. Okay, I didn't even know those had a name. And 50 crates, 100 in cash, or 10K in cash rather. And there's depth recordings and such. And then this is a record, of course, for having beaten the Giga Mech Worm, which I didn't know the name of that either. So we're learning all kinds of things today. So you're going to find a bunch of new power-ups that we didn't have in prior episodes, as well as some lovely features like this. We've actually got ice biomes now available, and I've also unlocked a new weapon that we hadn't seen in prior episodes, so that'll be new as well. I'll try my best not to blow myself up with the TNT sling, although, you know, results tend to be mixed with that sort of thing. But yeah, there's two new types of biomes. We can run into ice levels that have slippery floors and look distinctly quite pretty. And we can also run into water levels, which we're actually allowed to jump infinitely in those because we're underwater. We don't, like, run out of oxygen or anything, which I'm kind of thankful for because that could be a little bit of a bummer. But, you know, we do have the ability to have increased mobility, and I like that quite a bit. So I guess we'll just dig our way out of that. That floor kind of sucked. Looks like this floor is also going to kind of suck, so we'll try and blow up some of these saw blades before we get ourselves into too much trouble. And I'll try my best to watch out for enemies and such so I don't get too wrecked early on. I think we're going to be alright. I've been having some better runs. I've been playing a lot of this game, and in fact, this has been my go-to thing to do to, like, unwind. As many of you might know, I'm going on a trip to Vancouver to go see Ryan, aka Northern Lion, in, well, at this point, about a week. And this has been, like, what I'm doing between recording has been playing Cavern Kings, and I've also decided, well, why don't I record this too, because what's the harm, really? But just in general, I've been trying to record about 6 to 8 videos a day, and it's, you know, it's more than I usually do, I'll be honest. I usually stream a lot more than record, but in this case I need to provide videos for my channel for a little over 2 weeks, which I've never quite undertaken having a backlog of that many videos, and, you know, I wish it was more commonplace for me to be that prepared. Unfortunately, it's not. But this game is really good to unwind, just have a really good time, and not really think too hard about stuff, and, you know, just feel, refreshed and reinvigorated after you're done. I want to add prefixes to everything for some reason here. So we've got $140. This is so far, like, an absolutely terrible run. I'm not really coming up with much money. There's been basically nothing in the way of crates. But what I can do now, and this is a new official feature, is I can actually take these chests and drop them down in the next floor, and that will actually allow me to have the option to potentially open this if I find myself with enough money. And eventually we'll run into some lockboxes and stuff, so that, you know, there's a chance for that. I'm trying to grab all of the money I can and make sure that I don't get myself into too much trouble here. There we go. We've gotten the chest out of the way, and we'll leave at this point. So there we go. I've unlocked the chest, brought it down with me, and we're going to try and grab these 2 crates that are over here on this side, as we could really use some power-ups at this point. Oh, we got spikes. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, well, it didn't kill me. That's okay. Again, gotta be real careful with this TNT sling, because it's very easy to just kill yourself on it. Watch out for the head of the worm there. We don't want to get involved. There we go. Let's get rid of these spikes as well, if we could. There we go. TNT sling, feeling rather underpowered, surprisingly. Not usually the way things go with that. Alright, so now I've got enough to actually open both of these chests. I'm going to try and get up here for this top one first. Regenerating health, happy to see that. And we've got some poison damage as well, so if I don't kill something with my TNT sling on the first go, it will start to get poisoned, and I like that. There's another crate here, and we've got actually a bunch of potential money and power-ups on this floor, so I'm feeling good about this. Big health up, that's actually a new thing as well. I don't know if you've noticed, but we didn't have big and small health power-ups, now we do. And we've also got, in the top left corner, a standing readout of whatever our particular power-ups happen to be at the moment, which is a hugely helpful feature. One thing that's actually also going to be addressed in future updates is there's actually going to be a little number that appears next to the power-ups. That way, it's a little bit easier to even keep track of how many we've got, and we don't end up having just this sprawling mass of them that goes on forever. Because I've seen some runs that were particularly strong, and people ended up having, like, their entire screen covered. Oh, that was really bad. There goes all my health, guys. Let's see if we can just get some health regen. Or maybe just a big ol' health power-up out of this would be nice as well. I'm going to be very apprehensive in using... Oh my god, please open. Alright, I opened it. Oh, I gotta kill those dudes, though, before everything despawns. That's a big problem for me, is I wait too long and then I don't end up getting whatever it is that I need, because stuff just despawns so quickly. Alright, so we've got heavier bullets, Bracer of the Wind, poison damage, and regenerating health. A really nice combination of items so far. I don't know if I've mentioned this in prior episodes, but I know now why you cry. The Terminate... No, that's not what I was going to say. I know now what the heavier damage or heavier bullets does, and it's basically just a damage up. Some of the wording has been clarified in the item descriptions now, so you'll have potentially an easier time understanding what's going on around you, and I value that quite a bit. Let's go grab this chest first thing, and then we'll get this crate afterward. And more heavier bullets, okay. I think that we're going to kind of look forward to finding heavier bullets now, just because it's the fastest and earliest way I think that you're able to get an immediate damage up. So, you know, nothing wrong with that, and the more damage, the better. And it will hopefully lead us to having a big ol' stacking pile of damage later on when we're going to need it. This has also been a new boss added to this endeavor, and that boss, in fact, is like a... kind of looks like the Rogue Legacy eye boss, where there's just like eyes rotating with other eyes. And it's a pretty sweet boss, I must say. It's also extremely strong, and I have not beaten it yet. Also, in case you didn't know, there's actually unlockable characters. There was one in the prior beta, but I didn't know how to get to it. I actually know how to get to it in this version, I just haven't done it yet. So at one point pretty soon, hopefully, we'll go and make a run for that. I'm not sure if I'm quite skilled enough to pull it off, but, you know, I'll give it a shot. And I forgot if I've mentioned that I've also unlocked the drill cannon in this, which is another long-range weapon that I think is quite effective. And I'm sure we'll see it in future runs coming up. Hopefully you've noticed I've been trying to have slightly more strategic play here, trying to be a little bit more reserved, not put myself in harm's way quite as often. Like, no need to really bother with these saw blades, but if I can break them down, I guess that's cool too. Okay, we've got a lockbox and a chest. Let's go ahead and grab this. I didn't even mention that I got a Cyclops skull, which is... Oh, secondary regenerating health is awesome. All items stack, by the way, so if you're ever worried about that, you don't need to be. It's always good to pick up another power-up. Oh, lots of money. And full health again. We're actually doing okay. The newest version, 16.2, actually was also a balance patch, so there were some things that were introduced since 16 that actually go to try to make this a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. And I'm not sure if there's much else other than balance that was added or changed, but, you know, it's all good. There will be more future patches and updates as well, and the developer's talking about adding local co-op sooner rather than later, and I'm looking forward to potentially playing some of this on local co-op with Ryan when I go to Vancouver, so good times ahead. Alright, we've reached a level deep enough where we're going to run into some new power-ups. That was a Dracul Blood. Melee attacks now drain enemy health, so that's fantastic for me. That's going to allow me to get even more on my health bar as soon as possible, and you'll see my shovel is actually red now to kind of indicate that. One thing that I really love about this game is that all the power-ups tend to give you some sort of visual feedback that you have them, and, you know, the one that I think is maybe a little bit gaudy is the wings. I think they maybe look a little bit silly, but also I kind of also acknowledge that you need to have some kind of visual feedback for everything, so it's all good. I'm glad that it is the way that it is. Oh wow, I think even killing crates even gave me health there? Is that a thing that happens? I found out, by the way, that the leveling system, and there will be an XP bar added to the game sooner rather than later, the leveling system is actually powered by not only killing enemies, and it, increases your damage and also your health, but it also is powered by collecting and killing crates, so there's actually a number of ways to get your power-ups going earlier, and I totally missed what that scarab does. I think that's the one that when I kill enemies, it adds on to my max health, if I remember correctly. I've only gotten that power-up, I think, 1 or 2 other times. But either way, I'm totally down with that. Oh, well, alright, let's not shoot myself with a TNT sling. I'm doing my best to avoid taking stupid damage from it, but it does happen from time to time. Oh, big health power-up. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, let's head over away from all of this mess and start our digging process if we can. I'm gonna get, overwhelmed with enemies here, so I just wanted to get out. Pardon that I missed a couple of power-ups. Oh, we've got a Phoenix Pinion. That's gonna leave some flame behind me, which is fantastic. A little bit of passive damage. Some of the power-ups have also been tweaked a little bit. One that comes to mind particularly is the one that looks a little bit like the Super Metroid missile expansion power-up. The one that what used to be is every time you do a melee attack, it would actually fire a missile out of your body. Now it just sort of passively drops missiles that, become more and more menacing as you get more stacking versions of that, and I really do like that synergy. I think it works very well. It was maybe a little bit easy to abuse prior, where you had, tons and tons of missiles shooting out every time you would fire your weapon, or use your melee, rather, and then it just sort of became like another alt-fire, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think the way it works now might actually be more useful, because you don't have to actually be concentrating on using it, it's just going to kind of happen. Alright, so this saw blade's apparently never going to die. Can we shovel through it? Oh my god, please. Finally! Now, can I even get up here before the drill comes down? I want to get this... Okay, well, cool, cool, cool. That's fine. Let's just get out of here. That's a lot of money for me to leave, though. Okay. I really want to get this chest, though. Let's see what's in here. We've got rocks. What are rocks? Golem's core, explode and gain a shield at low health. Okay, I've only had this like 1 or 2 other times as well. That's a pretty good one to have. Another big old pile of power-up. What is this? Another of the same? I don't know how this stacks, but I'm interested in seeing. And these are 1250 each time. Oh my god, a third one. I guess when I explode and when I get to low health, you guys are going to see quite a fireworks display. What's going on in here? Just some money. A little bit of money. Not even that much, actually. And I'm going to try and maybe clear out a way to leave this stage a little early, just in case I need to use it. I think we're doing fine. This is so far a pretty good run. There is also the potential that pretty soon... Oh, just a random Cyclops skull just dropped. Pretty soon we're going to start getting into the territory where my runs start to get a little bit long. And then you might end up seeing, like, 1 run per video, and in fact, this might even be one of those, unless I just screw up royally. Oh god! That's not who I wanted to see here. Well, what I've noticed is I think you tend to run into a boss at around 7,500 feet below the world, and oh god. Oh, I hope regenerating health can help me out with this, or maybe that shield power-up. So this boss is going to close in on me pretty soon, and I don't know if I'm going to have a lot to be able to get away from it. Oh god, oh god! Watch out! I can't believe there's freaking enemies on top of it, too. TNT, do your work, man! We can do this oh, thanks so much for nothing, shield, man. That did not help any at all. I was so excited we were going to see the biggest explosion, and I was going to get permanent health, and didn't happen. Oh well. You know, that was actually not a bad run. I'm actually going to leave this video fairly short, because this was mostly just to introduce some of the new changes and patch stuff from 16.2, so I think we're just going to leave it at the 1 run for today. Unfortunately, it was not a 1 run. Well, there isn't any such thing as a 1 run in Cavern Kings, but we had a good run on our highest depth, being 9,034. We got to, what was it, 7,800 or 70-something. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, hopefully you guys are still enjoying the series. If you are, please leave a like on the video and a comment. Let me know how you're doing. If you haven't already backed the game on Kickstarter, go do it. This game is freaking fantastic. I personally am very apprehensive about recommending Kickstarters, but this is one that I'm basically all in on. I don't really see a downside to backing it. You get a download of this right now, which is as competent a game as tons and tons of other games that are $20 and already released, and it's still being improved upon and iterated upon every time I play it, so done. That's the argument I choose to put forth. Hopefully you'll enjoy the game as much as I have been, and I've already gotten tons of hours out of it, so there's really no downside. I will include links, of course, in the description if you need to go browse. And also go vote for this on Greenlight, because I think Vine said that there were like 48, 45, somewhere around there on the last Greenlight round. So pretty likely that this is going to get shown up on Steam and then maybe go early access after the Kickstarter ends. Who knows? We're going to see. I just want to put this forth into the world. Cavern King's fantastic. Go play it. See y'all later, everybody.